Okay, and we're back with another recording of Baldur's Gate. Here I am about to talk to Winthrop. So let's talk to him. Well, hello there, young one. Come to visit your old pal Winthrop, have ye? Well, don't forget the 10,000 gold piece book entry fee. As per Candlekeep's custom, don't you know? Okay, so Lancelot. I think he would know this is a joke. I'm not going to be combative. I'm not going to be gullible. There we go. You always were the big kidder, Winthrop. I think it's funnier nearly every time I hear it. Well, perhaps not quite so often. Ha! Just having a bit of fun with you, my friend. Them monks may be walking around with poles in their nethers, but you know you are always welcome here in my sight. Grinded well by you, he did. So, is there anything I can do for you? Some drinks, a room to sleep, or anything to buy? Sure. Okay, I don't need a hotel room right now. But as with any... Okay, so this is rooms, buy and sell, drinks. As with any good adventure... Good solid adventure, we'll start with some mead. Okay, Winthrop has given me a rumor after my one drink. It's been really weird these past few months. Iron's been going bad, falling apart almost as if it were rustin' for no particular reason. From what I hear, most of this bad iron comes from the mines at Nashkel. Can't just those Omnian miners, probably some scheme they've come up with. Oh, I kind of want another one. Oof. Fire or bitter? I'm gonna go fire. Hey, another one. Lots of trouble down in Nashkel. Monsters or some such are said to be killing the workers at the Nashkel mines. Bad news for smiths, or anyone that needs tools to make a living. Okay, if there's miners dying, it's probably not a scheme, unless that's a really twisted scheme. So we'll see what the monsters are all about. Sure. Again, it's really difficult to step back and say, okay, pretending this is my first time. Alright, so my proficiencies were in long sword and sword and shield style. So let's start going through everything. These are all weapons that I could use. Oh, I forgot. As a cavalier, I cannot use range weapons. I'm looking for a sword. Are there throwing? I guess throwing dagger is technically a ranged weapon, but I can use those. That's cool. Alright. So, bastard sword, long sword. What else? Okay. So, proficiency type is a bastard sword. I'm not going to read through all of these. Just one funny little note. I'm also making sure that the proficiency type isn't a long sword, even though it is a long sword. Alright, but just a funny little note is that when I was first playing this, a younger version of me was, hesitant to freely talk about bastard swords around my parents, so my brother and I would call them B-swords. Okay, so, back to the beginning. Also known as the hand-and-a-half sword, the B-sword. It's also shorter and quicker. Derives its name from the fact that it is halfway between the two-handed sword and the long sword. The bastard sword has a double-edged blade and a long grip which can accommodate both hands if preferred. The overall length of the bastard sword ranges between 4 feet and 4 feet 10 inches. Suppose that means the blade itself is 3 feet? That's pretty impressive. Okay. So, I can't use this. I mean, I can use it, I'm not proficient with it, so I'm going to keep looking. One note here about the damage and the speed factor we're looking at. I'm going to cover this too with my cursor. So this D4 indicates a 4-sided dice. A 4-sided dice looks like a pyramid, 3-sided pyramid with a bottom. So what this sword does is we roll 2 of the D4s and see what the total is. So the minimum is 2 damage, the maximum is 8 damage. So that's a pretty good spread there. You'll see like 1d6, I believe that's what longswords are, and that's just 1 through 6 is the possible damage. So this has its advantages. It will never do just 1 damage. Speed factor is 8. Speed factors in this game refers to how soon in the round attackers take their turn. So let's say I am fighting an enemy using a sword with a speed factor of 2. Baldur's Gate being a simultaneous sort of a game, that enemy is going to strike before I do with this sword. So his speed factor 2, he will strike first, my speed factor 8, I will strike afterwards. So there's a lot that happens within a 6-second round. Okay, requires 11 strength, got that covered. It's a one-handed type. I don't think I can make this a two-handed weapon, even though the history of the weapon is that it can be a two-handed weapon. So 11 strength, I'm fine. Weight doesn't really matter to me. Not usable by a lot of different stuff. Doesn't apply to me as a warrior. So we'll go to the longsword. These swords, actually, let me just buy this first. Alright, done. These, wow, did you see that actually? I paid 19 for it, but I can sell it back for 3. I need to be careful. Okay. These swords are usually referred to as double-edged swords, war swords, or military swords. In many cases, the longsword has a single-edged blade. Oh, actually, I kind of figured that both edges were sharp. There is no single version of the longsword. The design and length vary from culture to culture and may vary within the same culture depending on the era. Among the most common characteristics of all longsword is their length, which ranges from 35 inches to 47 inches. In the latter case, the blade is known to take up 40 inches of the total length. That's sounding like a bastard sword there. Most longswords have double-edged blade, there we go, and a sharp point at the tip. Despite the tip, the longsword is designed for slashing, not thrusting. The damage, therefore, is slashing rather than piercing damage. Oh, here, I thought it was a 1d6, but it's a 1d8. So our damage is going to go from 1 to 8. Speed factor is lower, so it's a quicker weapon. And we're good. There's some cool stuff. Oh, proficiency types, scimitar, wakizashi, ninja, toe. Okay, well, I can't use it. Wakizashi, I might? Nope. Not a long hand, not a long sword. I don't need any of this stuff. Well, do I? Should I get cool armor? Alright, one note about armor class. I'll go into this later. Oh, interesting. So the lower the better in 2nd edition, or Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, which 5th edition users will be super confused by this, and someday I'll get into THACO. But armor class, lower the better. So chainmail does very well against slashing, but does not do well against crushing. Okay, but in general, armor class is 5. Splint mail armor class is 4. So the splint mail is better, and actually it performs better against piercing and missile, and it performs even better against crushing. Why is that? Variant of banded mail, metal strips are applied vertically to the backing of chain leather cloth rather than horizontally. Bodies does not swivel as much as it flexes back to front. It's more restrictive in battle, but that doesn't really apply in game. Do I spend all my gold on splint mail? Sure. What else have we got for sale at Winthrop's place? Good helmet. Wow, I can afford all this? This is great. Okay. I mean, I want to go immediately to the large shield, but I'm pretending this is my first time. So let's look at everything. What is the difference between a buckler, a small shield, a medium shield, and a large? Okay. Armor class, +1. No protection against missile and piercing. But, for example, not many restrictions. Okay. Armor class. Okay, small shield. Armor. Wait, was that the same? Missile and piercing. Okay, small shield at least provides piercing, but no protection against missile attacks. Armor class +1. We have a few more restrictions. Medium shield. No penalties. Armor class +1. Large shield. Large. Okay. Kite tower shield. Whoa. Chin to toe. Okay. Same AC armor class. Extra bonus to armor class, which lowers your armor class. I know this is strange. I think a lot of characters might be restricted by the 15 strength. Not a problem for me. I believe those are the same restrictions as the medium shield had, but extra against missile attacks. So let's buy. I saw another one. Do I go for the natural wood look, the black, or the stained wood look? I think Lancelot would go with black. I have a grand total of 2 gold. Alright, here's to you, Winthrop. I'll get another. Okay. Well, let's equip stuff. I will equip a longsword. I will unequip quarterstaff. I am not proficient. Put on a helmet. It's pointy. Apply my shield. Okay, did you see that? Armor class up here is 10. Helpfully, it points out it's going to be 9 now. 14. This is all pretty explanatory, right? As a paladin, I get +10 per level. My constitution gives me +4 per level. Oh boy, we'll talk about Thaco. Oh, okay, cool. This is the damage I do. It's not just 1 through 8, it's 6 through 13. My proficiencies give me +2 to damage. My strength gives me +3 to damage. So it's 1d8 +5. Okay. My new armor class goes down to 3. Perfect. I have 1 gold. I actually just kind of want to say that there was a point. It's good to see you again as any other I could have laid eyes on. Oh, thank you, Winthrop. Make yourself as comfortable as you will. If you wish for anything, just ask. I want to say that I was broke as a joke. It leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. We heard that rumor already, Winthrop. Well, I think I'll,
All right.
Alright. Let's see. Well, why don't I call it here? It's been a time. So here I am going to stop the recording. But we've learned a bit about armor class, a bit about shopping, a little bit about drinking, and just what a great experience to look at this with new eyes. I wonder how I will handle this. Again, this is a good playthrough, not an evil one. I rolled for it. Oh, look, I have stuff. Alright, what is this? Remove here. Anyways, Paladin named Lancelot, Lancy for short, and so far so good. We'll stop the recording here and see you next time.